Finally getting her turn with the Tuneup Treatment, it is our resident Gamer Girl Learjet Metatuber. It is FJK00 Lealila, with a kit of Commander, Freeze Shot, Thunder Shot, Float Legs, and the leg ability of Continuous P, which passively buffs heat stat every turn and overall just her mobility just by taking her turns. Now, as a model designed for stun locking and nothing more, this is something that she does very, very well, and thanks to her support effect, she also can guarantee that who she wants to stop is who she's going to target, and nothing, not even pesky shields, are going to get in her way of doing so. Commander is a support-based skill that, once triggered, will grant a stack of radar sight to herself and all of her allies, which will grant a 30% buff to success across the board, as well as removing any conceal or stealth effects of the enemy's side. In addition, Commander will also grant a stack of stealth to herself, making Lealila untouchable until her next turn, unless she's already being targeted before she even activated it. Freeze Shot is a shooting-based skill, essentially a shooting variant of basic Freeze. As such, when attacking a target, it will stop them cold in their tracks once applied to the target. And while frozen, any incoming attacks are guaranteed to land, and also guaranteed to be critical hits on top of that, making it very widely sought after and very good for nuking skills and punishment because of what it can offer you. Thundershot, just a little bit lower in terms of viability, but still all the same just as nasty. Instead, it will stop the opponent cold, but also guarantee that all hits will land. The opponent can still guard against the incoming attack and reduce damage, but the attack is guaranteed to land regardless. Float Legs means that Lealila has very good coverage on all terrains, and even being as fragile as she is in the HP department, her overall mobility as a high speed type honestly does make up for it. And the Continuous P leg ability honestly does tie into this even better, as it means even though she already is speedy on her own, every turn that she's left alone and left alive, she will be progressively getting faster and faster, which means if you don't have something like Stat Cleanse to negate her and much of what she can do on the field, she's going to make your life a living nightmare, turn by turn, and you really are essentially helpless to stopping her as she outspeeds you for every turn that she finishes. Now when it comes to her tune-up treatments, basically she takes everything she was already good at and just kind of touches up on the spots where she kind of fell short to a point, but even then, it's still moderately identical. Her head has access to plus 100 to heat, plus 100 to cool, and an additional head use. Now normally I tend to shoot one over the other as a priority, but given that she has access to the same bonus effect to both heat and cool and an extra head skill, there really is no true definition on what would be a best recommendation for Lealila's head in this case. That being said, I would honestly leave that to your own discretion on how you choose to build her. That can be an emphasis on heat, or the extra head skill, or even heat and cool, or however you want to build it. That one is entirely up to you. Her right armor Freeze Shot, and arguably one of the two best parts on her, has access to plus 200 to success, plus 50 to heat, and Freeze Shot gets an extra ailment bonus where it lasts longer before it expires naturally if you do not touch the target. Naturally, the bonus to success means that she is more likely to land a lot of hits without the attack being dodged or grazed, so that alone already speaks for itself of how handy it can be. And the longer durability on Freeze Shot is also very good too, as it means that even though they won't last just too much longer, that extra couple seconds will definitely buy you just enough time to turn the strategy around if you need time to turn those tables. The left arm has access to plus 150 to power, plus 100 to cool, and Thunder Shot, much like Freeze Shot, also has access to a longer durability buff. Naturally, that longer durability is going to be the big go-to one to shoot for as well when it comes to the tune-ups, but given that plus 150 to power or 100 to cool really isn't super noticeable in my honest opinion, much like with her head skill, I will honestly leave distributing her remaining points back down to how you personally will want to use her. Her legs have access to plus 150 to armor, plus 150 each to shoot and melee resist, and her Continuous P leg ability grants plus 20 to her mobility every turn. So in addition to just that passive speed bonus she's getting, she will be also going just a little bit faster every time the effect is active, which means that alone already speaks for itself of how handy it can be. Now when it comes to the armor or the resist stats, Much like with her other parts, that one I'm going to leave entirely up to you on where you choose to use it. As 150 to shoot and melee resist is nice, it's not going to be super noticeable, but it will be nice to have, as all the resistance she can get will benefit toward her, given that she is a little fragile and more of a glass cannon when it comes to the HP and resistance departments. On the other hand, the extra 150 to armor can also come in handy if built right, but again, aside from the bonus to her leg ability, I will leave that entirely up to you. That being said, originally, looking at her old, pure, and mixed parts scores, I did have Lealila graded very solidly at an 8 out of 10 across the board, because she has very good speed, relatively decent mobility, and she's also very, very good at what she does as a Stunlocker. Her only real weakness is anyone that is using Stat Cleanse to negate a good chunk of what she can offer on the field. But if you build your team right with, say, Effect Clear or Buff Trap, this honestly can be negated and she can resume what she was doing and pretty much do whatever she does best. That being said, since a lot of her buffs really don't change a lot of her overall performance or don't necessarily offer anything game-breaking, I actually have to maintain and keep her original and her old pure set scores as her new scores, also at an 8 across the board. Like I mentioned, she is very good at what she does, and even though those buffs may not be super noticeable at first, they will definitely come in handy where it counts if you do choose to upgrade and tune up Lealila to fit whatever needs you are looking for in battle.